I had a intense year. This morning I sent a text message. I had anxiety.
Why is that?
I haven't talked about this yet, but
Justin Baldoni is an actor, filmmaker, and a New York Times bestselling author.
Her husband Ryan, several years ago. So I met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
got it.
And thought she seemed nice, and little did I know.
Yeah.
Some people, now that it's a function on Twitter and Instagram, there's a couple people that I have muted.
Good.
Yeah. Blake Lively.
You can mute people on Instagram too?
Yeah, it's a new feature.
Really?
I know. Get excited.
A feud had been
Thinks I'm living in a convent. Why do stage-struck maidens clamor to be acting in the...
Grown up, they want a serious answer. Well, how about this? Who the hell knows?
Then we all know Pitch Perfect, which was her most successful film.
Several years ago. So I met Blake a few times through Ryan on that film.
got it.
An actor. Like I want to.
Those like Anna, who had initially given her the benefit of the doubt while working together, got to realize the truth after seeing the interview from the 2022 Forbes Power Women's Summit in the interview. Blake admitted that she never felt fulfilled from just taking direction as an actress that she needed to have a say in the costume design, writing, and all aspects of the project. She also made things a lot worse by saying that wherever she's called to discuss her role, she always made it seem like she was just there to be the actor and ready to get the gig without revealing that she actually need to have authorship in order to feel fulfilled. Blake also made it known that many producers and directors had resented her for overstepping and for the bait and switch, but she made it clear that she'd go for what she believed in, regardless of how it made others feel. Blake said it's just as important to say, okay, I believe in this, and that's why I'm standing up for it, and that's why I'm being difficult. And there are other moments to go. Am I the in the room, what is happening here? Although shedded a clause about the importance of checking oneself. It's always important to check yourself. It's important to stand up for what you believe in. And it's also important to surround yourself with people who feel like they have a voice, because collaboration is so important. Her actions indicated that she was more inclined to act first, before taking a look back at her actions. After the interview, those who were going to work with her brack themselves to be pushed to the sidelines. However, Anna Kendrick didn't anticipate featuring Ina project with the Gossip Girl star so soon, so she missed the memo and things got a little dicey between them when Paul Feig announced that there'd be a sequel to A Simple Favor. Sources say Anna wasn't particularly thrilled when she found out that they'd both be featured in the project again, due to flashes of some of BL's actions during the release of the first movie besides trying to be the center of the project. Blake had gotten into Anna's bad books during the interviews done to promote the movie while they were promoting A Simple Favor in one interview. Blake had shown signs of jealousy when she made a comment on how she might never get to be Disney princess without a voice like Anna's, although to viewers that seemed like a compliment. But Anna knew it stemmed from Blake always wanting to be in the spotlight. So she responded with, "Oh, Muffin, it's so hard being you, Blake's envy." Became more and more obvious in that same interview when she scolded the interviewer for directing the questions towards Kendrick and not her. "What about me over here?" Blake had asked. And Kendrick had responded with, "Oh my God. Guys, don't fight just because I'm the best at everything," despite these subtle jabs at each other. They were able to keep their rift hidden until things took an ugly turn in 2024 when they started production. For Another Simple Favor, the first issue arose over who should get top billing in the movie credits. In the original film, Anna had gotten top billing over Blake, and so she thought the same would happen in this sequel. But Blake came with her lengthy demands as usual, and this time requested for the top billing. Sources say Blake fought through her reps. And Anna refused to bow to Blake's demands like she normally would to avoid unnecessary drama. Finally, after weeks of back and forths from both parties, an agreement was reached between both parties.
But I thought that was one of the best first kisses I've seen on a movie.
Oh boy, Justin Baldoni, you see, we've been talking to you all morning long. Good morning, good to see you.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. You guys are such lights.
We love your film, we love your work, we love what you've done with this book, which has, it sold 6 million copies, Colleen Hoover's book. I've been, in anticipation of you coming here, I went on Reddit to see what people are saying about the book in anticipation of the film. They love the book, so there's millions of fans out there. You are one of those fans. You immediately bought this book right, and you wanted to direct it. Why?
Well, I first optioned this book in 2019, and at the time it had sold just under 1 million copies. And I had never read
Why did you read it? Yeah.
Well, I just started Wayfair Studios, and at the time my book agent, shout out to Johanna Castillo, sent it to me. And she said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
Were you reading romance?
They agreed on something called staggered billing, which meant Anna's name would read first and Blake's would be above hers, but on the right-hand side in the Hollywood biz. This approach is known as equal billing after reaching this agreement. Both parties were not pleased with the outcome, but had no choice but to come to an agreement this little. Rift between the two stars would have been kept quiet if the whole Justin Baldoni saga did not happen for those that have missed the full details. Let's go back a bit from the moment it was announced in 2019 that Justin Baldoni was
understands
adapting
the themes of this movie, comes
Book It
across
Ends
you
With
in
Us
public,
into a film.
and they want to
There was a
really talk to
widespread
you. What's the
frenzy
best way for
besides
them
the book
to be able to
being a
talk to you
bestseller.
about this? How would you recommend they go
Everyone
about it?
couldn't wait to see who would play the notable characters, and fans became
or
even
like
more
my
excited when
location
they
share.
found out
Or I
Blake
could just
who.
location share you, and
Rose
then
to
we
fame
could.
in the 2000s in Gossip Girl was cast as the main character. She was described as the perfect choice to play Lily. Bloom, a young woman who suffered domestic abuse as a child and wound up in the same situation years later. The movie, which was released last August, became a box office success, bringing in more than $350 million globally, which is about $280 million EUR. However, despite this incredible financial success, things had not been rosy behind the scenes, and it all became evident when in December, Lively filed a legal complaint against their co-star in which she accused him of sexual harassment, and starting a smear campaign against the first signs of a problem came during the press tour for a film about domestic abuse. The press tour for It Ends With Us was not what everyone expected, especially with Blake spearheading the campaign there, where pink carpets, a ton of flowers, and the promotion of Lively's new hair care brand and her husband's gin company. Instead of promoting the message of the movie on the red carpet, Lively focused in fashion and florals. It's even more surprising that at some of the premieres, such as the one held in London, press were instructed to keep questions fun and lighthearted with one event organizer telling members of the press to steer away from questions on domestic abuse. But more notable than the wrong direction of the press was Justin Baldoni's absence in the press tour. The co-stars Justin and Blakely were not photographed together on the red carpet. At the film's New York premiere, the Malamane character of the movie was absent at the London premiere, and to make things more suspicious, the press were asked to not ask questions about Himmel, though internet prowlers noticed that cast members, including Lively and Arthur Hoover, did not follow Baldoni on social media. Nobody made mention of a feud. In fact, Baldoni praised his co-star, telling Today that she was a dynamic creative and described how she was involved in everything. She had her hands in every part of this production and everything she touched made it better, he said about the 37-year-old, but the world was watching, and they noticed that during the film's press tour, he hired a crisis manager, Melissa and Nathan, whose previous clients include Johnny Depp and Drake. Then shortly after the press tour, Lively was the victim of severe criticism on social media relating to her comments on that movie tour, as well as from old interviews she was called tone-deaf, clueless, and everything in between. The criticism was so intense that actor Brandon Senar, who plays Atlas in the film, had to defend Lively with a post on Instagram where scolded the people, vilifying the women involved in the film. He said it was disheartening to see the amount of negativity being projected, especially with someone close to him who'd experienced a relationship similar to Lily's had acknowledged the impact of the film, even going as far as saying it saved her life. Things took a backbench for a bit until 4 months after the film's launch. Lively took legal steps against Mr. Baldoni, in which she accused him of sexual harassment. Wayfarer Studios, Mr. Baldwin's production company, which produced It Ends With Us, was also listed as a defendant. Mr. Baldoni and Wayfarer CEO Jamie Heath were accused of repeated sexual harassment and other disturbing behavior. Blake also made it known in the complaint that she wasn't alone, as other female members of the cast had previously made such complaints. She further revealed that despite going into a meeting with the defendants alongside her husband to explain these concerns during the production of the movie, they had not taken heed. They had done as they pleased, and due to her constant resistance, they had launched a smear campaign against her. She accused him of devising a plan to destroy her reputation in the press and online, including hiring a crisis manager who led a sophisticated, coordinated, and well-financed retaliation plan against their and used a digital army to post social media content that seemed authentic. In the filing, it was written that to safeguard against the risk of Miss Lively ever revealing the truth about Mr. Baldoni, the Baldoni Wayfarer team created, planted, amplified, and boosted content designed to eviscerate Miss Lively's credibility. It also included that they engaged in the same techniques to bolster Mr. Baldwin's credibility and suppress any negative content about him. Due to all these alleged steps taken by Baldoni to ruin her, Blake claims she suffered great harm immediately. After the complaint was filed, Mr. Baldwin's legal team made it known that all her claims were categorically false and said the crisis manager had been hired because M. Lively had threatened to destroy the film unless her demands were met.